Salute, y'all. We are back live. We are back live again. First thing first, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, and scholarship purposes, y'all. Education. Today's live is going to be about the YSL ex parte meeting, y'all. We're going to take a look at the transcript that came out. This is the reason, allegedly, well, not even allegedly, y'all, that chief judge of Superior Court for County has been recused uh slash removed from the trial, just like I said. So do me a favor, hit that like button, share the live out. We are about to get the show started.
I see life for what it is. It's not all dreams. Ooh, it's not all bliss. You find your world is tumbling down. It happened to me. It happened to me once. You find your world is tumbling down. It happened to me. It happened to me once. You find your
Hit that like button. That should come in the live stream. We about to get the show started. We got Judge Glanville recused from his position, and I got the transcript audio, y'all. We couldn't get the original. I know that would be crazy to get the actual audio, but what happened was we about to get a closer look. Was a few people had a meeting, also known as this ex parte, and we about to take a closer look. Um, you're gonna hear a few things you probably didn't know, but hopefully this brings a little clarity to what's going on, what's been happening with the YSL trial, and why it's no longer being televised, y'all. It's because it's at a dead standstill right now because of the obvious, y'all. But look, check this out. We got Judge Shakura Ingram who replaced Granville, y'all. Yeah, she is the one who's going to be replacing Glanville by way of this right here. Here it is, man. Here it is right here. Y'all can take a look. Yeah. That Judge Glanville can and would continue. Yeah, man. So as you can see, that's signed right there by the Honorable Rachel, y'all. The Honorable Judge Rachel, right there. So here's Rachel. Here's her signature that I just showed y'all. And Judge Glanville will be replaced by Miss Ingram. So if you didn't already hit that like button, share out the live stream. We about to get right to it. I want to share something with you. Let me share my screen with y'all. Now this is an upload I had already did prior to today, y'all. So we just gonna catch up on something. This is Sharp, basically, you know what I'm saying, standing 10 toes down for defended Thugger, man. And basically, he is basically pointing out in this video clip that I'm about to show y'all that he has already seen signs of misjudgment and mistreatment on this trial. So let's take a quick look because this, I think this, I'm not gonna be able to play the whole audio. I think it's like an hour long. So let's get right into it, y'all.
That portion, and because I'm not saying, and I'll make it clear to Mr. Copeland, I disagree that Rich Homie Kwan, he's a gentleman. I disagree that he committed any type of offense, but this is the exact statement that Mr. Copeland levels against Mr. Williams, that Mr. Williams put a contract out on Mr. Copeland's life, which is untrue as well. This is a perfect example to show how baseless the prosecution cases against Mr. Williams and the other, and how the detectives have not done a proper investigation. So that's why I wanted it. What do you think happened? Here it is, and I want the whole flow. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so let me see if I can get the sum and substance of your argument. Are you saying that that particular section of 72400 to 72454, that shows another version of the story that Mr. Copeland may have advanced?
And
Okay.
that this is how law enforcement gets their information.
Okay.
This happens to be recorded, but they are out there saying, and I don't know who they spoke with to say, and you let it in over objection. We did investigation. Then don't tell me what the investigation was.
Now let's be totally honest, y'all. Shots fired. Shots fired.
Was the prosecution would come back with, just tell me based upon your investigation under CIAK versus state you relied on, and one other case that I can't remember right now. But you relied on two cases, and I disagreed with the analysis, but that's the rule of your court. So we went forward, but I want to show the jurors now how the police did this investigation, and it's preposterous because all this is a lie. Everything Mr. Copeland said is a lie.
Listen,
Yet
y'all.
they're using him as a primary witness against Mr. Williams and others.
You know what
Primary
I'm saying? I believe that case does indicate that the
primary witness. If the state is using Mr. Woody as a primary witness, can somebody please tell me if this is going to go any further? We're talking about the longest trial in Georgia history when the primary witness, well, let's just let it be.
depending upon, since the investigation is an issue that, so I'll hear it again, okay? All right, can I hear 72400 to 72454, please?
Okay, we're about to listen to Little Woody testimony, aka Kenneth Copeland. Here's what he had to say.
And you got 25,000 here, take you. It's like from the picture you just showed me. Nah, tell you who just got shot the other night. Oh, in the car over there. Okay. He got 25,000 here, take you.
Who did?
Just reach on the corner shit. Cause he was telling me. So I'm telling reach on the corner like, but you got you niggas in your house. You the same nigga that shooting up my house, bro.
Right.
Reach on the corner like, he like, bro, they just look like that, bro. Like we the same shit. I'm like, but still, bro, you out here hating these niggas this and that. So reach on the corner like, bro, it ain't dead. We the same shit. I just can't turn my back on. Like it ain't dead, bro. You support these niggas, bro. So the more you support them, the more they gonna come out and do that. If you leave them alone, then everything gonna go away.
Yep.
And you're like, just protect me, bro. We need y'all, bro. I need y'all to protect me. How the hell we gonna protect you? You and these niggas out here doing it. And you're like, so you shot my truck, bro. Oh, that side of the truck. Man, you been, you know what I mean? You been around. Like, nah, I'll just ask you in there like that.
Like a shark in water, Little Woody seemed in his natural habitat with detectives.
When did he have the 25 on the dude Tay hit on?
Say, Daddy got shot.
Right.
Yeah, barbershop. So like how they say my name? On Bankhead, they say Tay name. They saying Tay dead. I know Tay ain't do it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't lie and stuff saying Tay said like his mom. I know Tay ain't do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The night before we just hit the party.
Let me stop it right there, y'all. Not only is this one of the longest trials in Georgia history, it's one of the sloppiest. Let's just be honest, man. This is the primary witness, man. This is the state's primary witness. And even though he's saying and name dropping and telling this and telling that, he done came on a stand and basically said that he lies, that nothing he ever said was the truth, y'all. But that's not why we here. We are here because still, I believe, uh, definitely ruffled Mr. Glanville, Judge Glanville feathers, when Glanville found out that he knew about this secret ex parte meeting, y'all, that we about to get a reaction to. And we knew he was on to something because the judge had the lawyer locked up. Let's be honest. I mean, this trial had all type of suspense, y'all. All type of things that happen. We can go on and on for days, but notice you hear the name Tate. As I cover this, you're gonna hear Tate come up more. Matter of fact, RP Tate, y'all. He's no longer with us. A lot has developed and happened during this trial, but for this to be at the point where it's at right now, which is a standstill, and we have another judge in there. I mean, what do y'all think the juries feel like? They already been gone away from their jobs and day to day for a long time. This is crazy.
Yeah, who did it? Somebody else did. Some.
Spit it out.
You know what I'm saying? But it's supposed to be some niggas that had money over there. You know what I'm saying? Over there got money. No, I'm talking about bankhead. A lot of niggas over bankhead got money. That's why when I started thinking, I couldn't think of the name, but this nigga supposed to have paid somebody on Giants Road, one of them streets over there to do it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? To kill him and retaliate, to get that Quan? What started that? Like the same day, we was like, I was in the street, I seen Quan crying. I'm like, what's wrong, bro? He need to try to kill my dad. You know what I'm saying? But him and Tate didn't have a problem. Yeah. So that's why he thinking it's Tate. Right. Him going to it, him and Tate mother each other. But you don't even know they Tate. Right. How y'all have a problem? But Tate is a school boy. Mm-hmm. And they feel like they retaliation. Man, it ain't. But like, I couldn't say him because no matter how many times I tried to speak up to Tate, he always had in his head, Tate did. Right. So like, man, y'all shooting, man.
So that's what that was about the other day.
I can't take him. I was gonna hesitate, but I had Tate put up on me like probably like Friday or Thursday or Friday. Tate pulled out like, hey bro, bitch, I'm gonna call like 25,000 on your head.
Why so much?
Yeah, man, niggas the jealous.
All right, boom. We're gonna stop right there because that doesn't even have anything to do with the ex parte. But go check out my upload section where you can find this exact video, y'all. Let's get to it. So we have Judge Glanville basically stepping down, being recused for basically unacceptable behavior, y'all. Unacceptable behavior. Lining up witnesses, y'all. Lining up witnesses, basically. Okay. We about to take a listen to it. I want y'all to take out your notepad or just take mental notes. You ain't even got to take out no notepad. For real. Just take a few mental notes and just see how the world turns, man. See how the world turns, y'all. Let me share this screen with y'all real quick. Let's get to it.
This took a lot of work. Please like, subscribe, and share this video. Appreciate your support. The ex parte hearing began at 9:10 a.m. Present in chambers were Judge Glanville, Assistant District Attorney Adrienne Love, and Attorney Kayla Bumpus, court reporter Christina Weaver, and investigators Antonio Long and Rashid Hamilton.
This is the voice of the court.
This is the voice of Mrs. Bumpus.
And this is the voice of Mrs. Love.
We now begin.
Thank you. The concern with representation present that he faces, and we wanted to give him an opportunity.
All right, y'all. My fault. I'm not gonna play. I gotta skip through this, but this is what I want to do. I'm gonna play. Let me see, who is this? Okay, paralegal. Shout out to the paralegals, y'all. Shout out to the paralegals. Shout out to the paralegals. Y'all can go watch the full scoop. But I want to play really the part where Lil Woody come in, y'all. I want to play specifically the part where Woody has contact with the judge, y'all. So I'm gonna play a little bit of this, then I'm gonna skip up.
Opportunity to ask whatever questions he wanted to ask. Before he was we had to pull him in the courtroom when the jury came out. The second concern that I have is, and I wanted to bring to the court's attention, in line with the concern that I expressed on the record on Friday, I don't know what advice counsel may have offered or may be offering. That is their right and their business. As it relates to testifying, however, I do not believe that criminal exposure is a concern that is, which interest is being spoken about and protected. Mr. Melnick relayed to Ms. Hilton on Friday that he had never heard of the statute 245507, and on Friday he sent an email. I don't know if he intentionally copied Mr. Steele and Mr. Shart. I don't know if he unintentionally put my name on it, but he sent an email to Mr. Steele and Mr. Shart, with me and Simone copied, where he said, "This is the communication that I received from Ms. Love regarding Mr. Copeland." My response was, "Whose interests are you protecting, yours or Mr. Steele's? Whose clients? Which client are you protecting? Whose client, yours or Mr. Steele's and Mr. Shart's?" He wrote back and said, "You are going to get him killed. You have made him. You are making him a target. Fuck you," is what he wrote in the email. So given that his concern is that by testifying at least the one that he conveyed to me in writing it's not, his concern has nothing to do with exposure from the state. And if his concern,
His being whose concern?
Mr. Melnick, if the interest that he is protecting is Mr. Copeland's freedom, he did not convey it by asking us what exposure does he face in testifying. In fact, if he's concerned that testifying will get Mr. Copeland killed, and he is not communicating with us, he's communicating with counsel for defendants. It would seem that he knows a thing or something that we don't know. Additionally, and I will let Ms. Bumpus tell you, he has said if Mr. Copeland testifies, he's no longer representing Mr. Copeland, which is strange because if your interest is your client, then it would seem you would want to be there for him while he is testifying.
Well, he is on vacation this week.
I understand. That is why he has Ms. Bumpus here, and he has said what he has said. And as I was reading the statute, I was reading the statute about this particular situation, and I was reading our rules, our ethics rules, rules of conduct for attorneys. And it is clear that if an attorney, there were two things that were happening. One, Mr. Melnick had told me that he wasn't Mr. Copeland's lawyer. Mr. Copeland had told Ms. Hilton that Mr. Melnick wasn't representing him. And then, rather than Mr. Copeland reaching out to Mr. Melnick apparently was in communication with Mr. Steele and Mr. Shart, and Mr. Melnick reaches out to Mr. Copeland and injects himself in these proceedings. What we were discussing was
So let me break that little part down. What's going on? Milnick is a lawyer that represented Little Woody in the past, but he is not going to represent him in none of this. And what he did was strategically, and everything is alleged. This is just my opinion, y'all. Strategically send shout out who you see getting pointed at. Okay. Now, what's crazy is she already knows Woody. Everybody knows everybody. But Milnick was having contact with Steele. You hear me? So this is all about Woody being passed around. Now, the reason why I said what I said on this thumbnail is because being that Milnick did not come, who do y'all think leaked this secret meeting to Steele? Because Steele took off. still already had it. He already knew he was holding it, y'all. He already had this in his pocket. But we about to get to it.
In no way a matter that Mr. Melnick was representing Mr. Copeland on, and that is where we are not allowed to speak with a person when they are represented by counsel. Mr. Melnick could not have been representing Mr. Copeland on anything we were talking about, because we were talking about this case and this trial. All that aside, we would like an opportunity for the court to address Mr. Copeland with Mr. Copeland's stand-in counsel present. Ms. Bumpus is looking at me like,
I'm listening.
with his stand-in counsel present, and to allow Ms. Bumpus an opportunity to explain to Mr. Copeland everything that I have just said. Her concern outside was what is the longest he can stay in jail. What I relayed to her is the statute says, until he purges.
By testifying.
His contempt by testifying.
Yeah, 507 is a little bit different.
So until the end of this?
He can be here until the end of the trial.
That is what I said. To the end of trial is the longest?
No, it's not the longest. Even after a grand jury, if a person has been subpoenaed to testify before the grand jury, and even after the grand jury has, convened? Has left, that person can stay in until that person purges himself of contempt by testifying. The statute literally says that.
Well, I'm going to look it up because it was my understanding that it was until the end of trial.
Nope. Here it is. Literally the words of the statute. And so,
He could be in there a while, let's put it that way. Either way.
I just want to be able to give him...
I know. It's kind of the statute says, you know, that you purge, but I can't keep him in there indefinitely. I've got to kind of...
That is all I want to know.
You know the...
So we about to get into it. We about to break all this down, y'all. We got the secret meeting. And basically at this point of the trial, y'all, they got Woody in the slammer, y'all. Woody is locked up. And everybody who know about this trial know one thing about Woody. He don't like being locked up. He always find a way to talk his way out of the situation, whether it's lying or giving up information. So what they did, and what you're going to hear in this ex parte, and I'm not going to talk through it once I get to that part, but you're going to hear when Woody come in, you're going to hear him complaining about the fact that he's mad he's locked up. But if you pay attention to the conversation they have prior to when Woody even came in this meeting, they already knowing what they want to do, but they trying to see if they can still hang anything over his head because they want to lock him up. Woody already knowing they want to lock him up. Yeah, Miss Jazzy. I think Bumpus definitely, but that's just allegedly. That's just allegedly had something to do with the leak.
Whole thing is that he has the keys to his own freedom. And that freedom is if he just gives his testimony, then he's purged it.
Right.
and you know whatever that testimony is. We know what we believe it to be, but we don't know what it is. We can't talk about it. We don't know what he's going to say. We have an idea. We know what he's told us.
Yeah.
And our concern is that I know the court said, essentially, you intimated that Mr. Melnick probably told him, essentially, you should testify they can't do anything with your testimony. But what we overheard being said was, they are going to hammer you, as if we were going to expose Kenneth Copeland to.
You heard that?
Yes. Yeah. Mr. Melnick told Mr. Copeland we're going to hammer him.
Now, to be fair, and I think Miss Bumpus, as an advocate or anybody, has got to tell him he's going to face some pretty significant cross-examination.
Yeah, I think that's what he meant.
I mean, he's got about 10.
So he meant the defense is going to...
Let's be honest. The judge is not supposed to be meeting with the DA, y'all. The judge do not supposed to be meeting with the defense without the other attorneys, y'all. That is what this is about. That is what this is about. But it done came out. And this is what the meeting was about. They basically trying to strategize strategically how they gonna get this man, they primary witness, on the stand and purge himself because he don't want to talk. We're gonna hear that he don't even want to talk. He don't even want to talk. But they're trying to figure out how they gonna get him to talk. They already done took him off the streets, locked him up. Okay. Now it's gonna get critical.
Hammer him?
No, just in general, it's not going to be a hey, da, 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 da.
He knew that. He had already been expressing that.
But I mean, I think that if he's concerned about that, well, but it's all in the message and the packaging in terms of, I think Mr. Copeland is, a savvy person, but, he's certainly going to be subject to a thorough and sifting cross-examination.
And the other thing is that,
Can I just say something in Attorney Melnick's defense and response, just for the record?
yes,
The reason that he doesn't want to move forward with representation, what I've been told, if he decides to testify, is that he doesn't feel like he can. He doesn't know what was said outside of his presence, so he doesn't feel like he can adequately represent him or counsel him because he doesn't know what was told to the state when he wasn't there.
but the thing is that the only thing that he should be concerned about is the criminal exposure, or the exposure that Kenneth Copeland has criminally, and there is nothing. There is literally nothing. The statute is quite clear that we can do to him about. The only thing that would put him in harm's way is a lie and a refusal to testify after being ordered to do so by the court. And by a lie, we don't mean, like, oh, I think you lying. It would have to be, something obvious, because we can always impeach. But if he literally perjures himself, that's something different. We can't help that. We can't control that. We would only say, tell the truth. I don't care how bad it is, just tell the truth. So, like he says, I didn't go down to the police station.
And I think part of his challenge, Miss Bumpus, may be that you need to assure him, look, I'm going to be here. And if you think that they are asking you a question, they being the state or the defense, is asking you a question that's going to bring out other crimes, that he's going to be able to look to you and say, can I have a chance to talk with you?
That's exactly right. See, but that's just it.
No, he's not.
Hold on. That's just it, Judge. The problem is that there's been an assertion that people are representing, and I'm not talking about you.
Yeah.
There's been an assertion that people are representing that their biggest concern is his best interest, and then they are.
My thing is this: if she not talking about him, then who is she talking about? Because they having a whole meeting, y'all. A whole secret meeting.
are just not here? And Ms. Bumpus is saying she's not in a position to do that?
No, I'm not saying I'm not in a position. I'm saying that the agreement between Mr. Copeland and Melnick, who I'm standing in for, is that if he chooses to testify, I'm to get him to sign this paper that says that then discharges Melnick as his rep. That's their agreement.
Let's talk. Now we getting somewhere. Miss Bumpus. You're only sitting in to get him to sign the paperwork. Let's be honest. And all of this happened.
I can't do nothing about that.
That sounds weird. That does not sound like something in Mr. Copeland's best interest. That sounds like protecting somebody else's best interest. If you talk, I can't. I'm not going to represent you. I don't even know what to do with that.
Well, he said he does not know what was said.
It doesn't matter what was said.
Right.
It doesn't matter what was said. And he didn't ask us. He didn't even inquire, what have you all talked about? He has been talking to Brian Steele and Max Shart. That's it. He is not talking to us. And in fact, when Mr. Copeland asked to speak with us, Mr. Melnick barges in and gets between Ms. Hilton and Mr. Copeland and literally keeps us from talking to him before he gets called to the stand. And that's troubling.
Well, I think what happened was, and I say this because I previously represented Mr. Copeland previously on his other stuff, so I know this is just what I think happened. I think how Attorney Melnick came involved was his representation of other because he took my place. Copeland fired me and hired Melnick, and then this came about. And I think so at the beginning, Melnick was representing him, and then
In his criminal matter that he had, but that's resolved.
But when this case started, Melnick called me and told me that he was representing him as a witness at the beginning. I can assert that.
Melnick has never in life.
This is 2 years ago.
Melnick didn't. As a matter of fact, less than 2 years ago, when Copeland was sitting in jail for something else he had done, Melnick said, "I don't represent him." He told me, "I don't represent him." And people were in the room. He was on speaker. He told me he didn't represent him. Now, he ultimately did come about and represent him. But when we were trying to get, I guess,
Something, yeah.
Copeland was like, "He's not my lawyer. I don't have a lawyer. He's not my lawyer." And then,
Are you talking about recently?
so recently, Copeland said that Melnick was not his lawyer.
Right.
When Copeland was in jail, Melnick told me he wasn't his lawyer. But our understanding was that Melnick was his lawyer for those criminal charges. And so the person that came in and argued, or at least stood in for him on his bond, and then on his subsequent plea, was Melnick. But I don't know whose interest he would be representing when he's not talking to us about what we've spoken to Copeland about. He could ask us, and we would tell him. You know, so I don't know why he would withdraw his representation of him. If his interest is Kenneth Copeland, then why would you pull out?
That doesn't make sense.
At the point where he would face the most peril if that is his concern? If his concern is, "I don't know what they talked about, so I don't know what."
And I thought that Miss Hilton had a list of questions for Mr. Copeland anyway.
She did.
Well, how come you all can't?
He didn't ask to see those. He didn't. And not only that.
Well, can't you all share that with Miss Bumpus?
Well, Ms. Hilton has already shared it with Mr. Copeland, and we certainly will share it, generally speaking.
Can I read this email that Melnick sent me? I don't know if this will help you understand what he's saying. It says, "Hey, Kayla. I wasn't able to see Kenneth today. He went on Saturday and tried to talk to him before his flight, but I have talked to his family. So at first, Kenneth was going to testify, but has now decided to take the 5th. He may change his mind on Monday. If he does, then he's agreed to discharge me as his attorney. This isn't out of bad feelings, but I was not present when he met with the DA's office, so I can't really help him with his testimony. And then he gave me the discharge and told me that if he decides to testify, then he's to sign this."
But that's just it. It's like you never know what somebody is going to ask. And if he's concerned about putting him in.
And see that's it. That's it, and that's all, y'all. Bumpus, basically they put her in a messed up position, man. I believe that's why she went ahead and just spilled the beans. And this is allegedly, but this is my feelings. I think they put her in this messed up position because you got a attorney who clearly looked like represented him before, but for some reason he do not want to represent him now. And don't forget, it done came out that he done told Copeland, which is Woody, that basically them folk trying to get you, man. How do like as a lawyer, he just told him straight up, they trying to get you. And not only that, he don't even want to touch it. But is this the reason why? I'm gonna fast forward to the part I want to really key in on today, y'all. I'm gonna leave the link of where you can get this video in the description at the end of the video for sure. But yeah, let me go ahead and skip up to the bread and butter.
Copeland. So who is he talking about? So what are you trying to do?
That is a collateral second and third order effect. Let's pray it doesn't happen, but
I mean, obviously
first he has to give testimony, though. That's what he has to do. He's got to give the testimony, whatever it is.
Have we heard enough of this coaching? You got the judge coaching the DAs, man. This does not supposed to be happening, y'all. So that I got to fast forward to the part where they go and get Woody out, you know what I'm saying, and let him come into the meeting. And that's what we're about to hear next. If you didn't already hit that like button, if you're just passing through, share out the live. I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Good, bad, or indifferent. Good, bad, or indifferent, I should say.
So we would like, with the court's permission. They haven't brought him over, and he was supposed to be the first one up. So I guess they went to get him. They might be over here with him now.
Is he here now?
I don't know.
Judge Glanville exited chambers at 9:33 a.m.
We would like to just go into another courtroom and talk to him, give you a chance to talk to him, and then give you an opportunity to explain to him.
The court reporter. We're off the record. Brief recess. Judge Glanville and Mr. Chamberlain entered chambers at 9:34 a.m.
Miss Hilton has been communicating with him. I'd like to grab her from downstairs and have her come up.
Where's Mr. Copeland?
They took him upstairs to the tank in 9.
Okay, can we bring him out to, can we?
Your chambers is being used. I mean, your courtroom is being used.
Let's bring him in here.
All right. So let me see if I can get that done.
Let's bring him in here. Okay, thank you. We'll just bring him in here.
The proceedings stood in recess from 9:34 a.m. to 10:03 a.m. Mr. Copeland entered chambers at 10:03 a.m. Also present were Judge Glanville, Assistant District Attorney Simone Hilton, and Attorney Kayla Bumpus, Court Reporter Christina Weaver, investigators Antonio Long and Rashid Hamilton, and Deputy Houston, Deputy McPherson, Sergeant Brown, and Sergeant Hall with the Fulton County Sheriff's Department. As a note, this is the voice of the narrator.
This is the voice of the court.
This is the voice of Woody.
This is the voice of Mrs. Bumpus.
And this is the voice of Mrs. Hilton.
We will now continue.
Okay.
Can you let him know I got a hearing problem?
All right, so we about to get into it, y'all. We about to get into you know, the whole thing, man. If you didn't already share out the live, hit that like button. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it, y'all. So let's go ahead and listen to the ex parte meeting. Let's listen to Woody talk to Glanville. Basically, this is outside of the jury knowing, the public knowing. This is off record, but not anymore. So that just tells you right there what type of time we living in.
Here's the shit that you live for, the shit you die for, beliefs that you believe in, the shit you ride for. They manage your time so you have no time for removing your blindfold. Cause you see with your eyes closed, I see with my eyes closed. You see with your eyes closed, I see with my eyes closed. You see with your eyes closed, I see with my eyes closed. You see with your eyes closed, I see with my eyes closed. You see with your eyes closed.
Okay, he said can. He is hard of hearing.
That makes 2 of us. I've got a hearing aid that's coming on the 27th of January. I mean, of June. So I'll try and talk loud. Is it okay if I...
Yeah, I can read lips.
Okay. Good. Mr. Copeland, good morning.
Good morning.
All right. I just wanted to bring you over and let you talk with Miss Bumpus and see if there is anything that you need to ask of your counsel or Miss Hilton or the state or the court before we bring you out this morning. Because it is, we would like to hear your testimony, and that is kind of where we are at this point in time. So is there anything you want to ask?
Well, I want to speak to you personally that I have never been truthful a day in my life until I just made this statement right now. I don't comprehend none of this stuff that's going on.
Okay. Well, the only thing you can give is truthful testimony. I mean, whatever you know is whatever you know. I mean, that's it.
And what we'll say, and Mr. Copeland and I, we have talked about this. I'm not sure what your concerns are, what concerns that you expressed to Mr. Melnick last week, but if any of your concerns deal with being locked up for anything, you can't. Like there's nothing that can happen. The feds...
Well, that's not...
It is true.
No, I said that's not his concern.
If his concern is safety, we need to know that. Like that's not expressed, so we don't know what the concern is so that we can try to resolve the concern. This is what I'm saying. Mr. Copeland and I have had conversations before. I understand some of his concerns is potential criminal liability, hence why we gave you immunity. The federal statute of limitations? Done. The state statute of limitations? Done. So there is nothing... Like I researched it this weekend again. Both those statute of limitations for what you and I talked about, which is in 2015 or before, done. You cannot be prosecuted for anything you testify federally or statewide. Immune, period. So if that is the concern, there is none because you cannot be prosecuted. The federal statute of limitations is 5 years. So anything in 2015, 5 years would have been in 2020. Anything statewide is 4 years. It would have been 2019. Finished. Next concern, what may happen in the street? You know what we have talked about, what we can do as far as living and all of that. We have had those conversations. So I'm trying to express to you, we do not want you locked up. I don't know how many times I've got to tell that to you, what I've got to say to you. We do not want you sitting in DeKalb or whenever they got you because of this.
I know you wanted to talk to me on Friday before you walked into court. We weren't able to talk. If you still want to talk with or without Ms. Bumpus, I'm here. But we do not want you in custody. You will not. This order, I don't know if you kept your copy of the order, but this order says you are immune from prosecution, any of it. Literally. Judge,
I'm gonna be honest, y'all. This is the DA, man. This is Miss Love. That's who you hearing from. She basically, I feel like just the fact that she's still talking, ain't nobody spoke yet. She's aggressive. She's laying it all down on the record off the drip, yo. We gonna get to hear from Woody in a minute, but she's really making him feel comfy. You feel me? I feel like she wanna him to understand that she has his back, and this is the DA. But it makes sense because again, let's still tell it, he's the primary witness. But let's get back to it.
you might want to close your ears. If you confess to a murder on the stand, if we don't have any other independent evidence outside of what you say on the Friday before you walked into court,
Yeah, I think she was going too hard. This is why I think she was going too hard, y'all. Listen to what Miss Love said, y'all. She told the judge, you might want to cover your ears. She told the judge that he might want to cover his ears for this one, y'all.
we weren't able to talk. If you still want to talk with or without Ms. Bumpus, I'm here. But we do not want you in custody. You will not. This order, I don't know if you kept your copy of the order, but this order says you are immune from prosecution, any of it. Literally.
Wow.
Judge, you might want to close your ears. If you confess to a murder on the stand, if we don't have any other independent evidence outside of what you say on the stand, you are immune from prosecution from what you say in court. So, again, I don't know what was communicated to you on Friday. I have no idea. But what the state has assured you, which I have assured you in our private conversations with Mr. Long, as I'm saying in front of Ms. Bumpus, as I told you, that is what this order says.
And that is direct or cross-examination.
And that is direct or cross-examination.
Man, hold on, man. Wait a minute, man. What private conversation she talking about, man? What private conversation she talking about, man? It's a lot going on, but I ain't gonna, I gotta react. But what private conversations? And who is Long, man? She name dropping and everything, y'all. We would have never known none of this if it wasn't for whoever it was. Let's be honest.
So if you are worried about what the defendants may ask you because they may know your business, but if they ask you about things that you might think you might have some liability with, you can't be prosecuted for any of those.
I got family members watching this trial, and I don't want my nephew and them to hear the things that I may be involved in and think it's okay.
But I think that's a separate conversation you can have with them as an honest individual, like, look, nephews, I done lived the life that I don't want you to live. Don't go through what I've been through. But that's something you can have outside of being in jail, because that's a better conversation you can have with your nephews in person. But they shouldn't have to come to the DeKalb County Jail because you are being held in contempt. You can have that conversation with your nephews tomorrow in person. You can have that conversation with them. You can have that conversation with anybody. You know what's coming up this weekend. Why are we in jail? What are we doing?
But y'all did this intentionally.
No, we did not. You and I had this conversation, Mr. Copeland, on Friday morning.
You knew my child's birthday was next week.
But what did I tell you? When we met with each other, I said to you, you asked me, what is the one thing that's going to get me in jail? Didn't you ask me that? And what was my response? If you plead the fifth. And that is exactly what you did on the stand.
But what did I tell you before I got to that point? I told you the whole time Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
But I told you we were giving you immunity.
That I was pleading the fifth.
No, you did not.
I told you every day I was pleading the fifth.
No, you did not. And we told you.
I told you my concern.
And we said we could give you immunity. You said your concern is what they know about you. And when you said that, I said, well, you know stuff about them. And then I said, whatever your concerns are, we can give you immunity.
So I didn't tell you I lied on them to get myself out of the situation?
You said you were a liar. That's what you said. You said you were a liar.
Was this recorded?
No.
And did he ever say that Melnick was his attorney?
No. This week, when we first met you in the car on Friday, we asked you, is Mr. Melnick your attorney? You said, he's not my attorney. I haven't even talked to him.
No, I never said he's not my attorney. I said I haven't talked to him.
You said he's not your attorney? You haven't talked to him. Then we continued to have a conversation. At no point did you ever say to us, hey, I want Mr. Melnick here. Hey, put Mr. Melnick on the phone.
You didn't make me feel like I needed him.
But if you needed him, we would have said, if you would have needed Mr. Melnick, we would have said to you, okay, just call him. So, I mean, that is our position. We don't want you in jail.
I told you. I told you. You can hear the stiffness in the conversation, but I think, of course, they made him feel comfortable. They made him feel so comfortable that he feel like he ain't need to call Milton, y'all. But what's so crazy, he said he never said he wasn't, and he never said he was. Milton sent then somebody else. Okay? And that's where we at with it.
We just want you to be able to purge yourself by testifying. Whatever your truth is what your truth is, but you've just got to answer the questions. We believe that whatever your truth is what your truth is. We know what you said before. I don't know what you're going to say on the stand, but what we know is pleading the fifth is going to keep you in custody. That's what I know. Now, how you answer your questions is how you answer your questions. I know what you said before, and I know what you said later. I know what you said before, and I don't know what you are going to say on the stand because you and I never went into full details about any of it. But what I don't want is you to be sitting here in custody.
You did it.
I did not do it. You did it by pleading the fifth.
You told me, before you went to the judge with whatever the thing called you went to him with, you told me that I can't. When I'm asked a question, I can say, I don't recall, or I don't know. You told me that if I plead the fifth, something, why would I plead the fifth to something I ain't do? And I said that you don't know what I did, and what I ain't do, and then you was like something. And then y'all asked for this immunity, and I was like, it was something. And then Thursday or Friday came, and then y'all go tell me, oh, we went to the judge with this, so you gotta testify. If you don't testify, the judge gonna lock you up.
Right, but that was based upon what you...
But I told you all that.
No, you didn't.
You said, why would I plead the fifth to something I didn't do? And I said, you don't know what happened.
And I said, I don't know what happened. Only you know and them know, I said. But you never said, I am pleading the fifth. You said, what if I do this? What if I do this? What if I do this?
I told you, I said I'm going to plead the... You said, why would you plead the fifth to something that you know you didn't do?
So if you didn't have immunity prior to, is that what you were saying, that you feel like he didn't have immunity prior to?
Immunity came Friday, right when I went to jail.
The immunity only came after Mr. Melnick.
Hold on.
The immunity came after Mr. Melnick sent us an email saying, my client is pleading the fifth. That was on Thursday evening at 6.
Okay.
So after that was an emphatic, he is pleading the fifth.
Uh-huh.
We came and we got this signed.
Uh-huh.
And then Friday morning came.
Okay.
So between Friday evening, Mr. Melnick reached out to us.
All right, it's clear. He emailing, he's sending emails. Melnick is definitely representing Woody, y'all, behind the scenes. He's sending emails, he calling him his client, but for some reason, Woody don't want to. It's weird, y'all. It's weird.
Said he represents him. He's pleading the fifth.
Okay. And when was the last time you talked to him before Melnick got involved?
We talked to him earlier that day on Thursday.
Okay. And then how did...
He called me.
Okay, I was just trying to get a timeline.
Sure. Right, so we have been talking since last Friday. So I met with Mr. Copeland last Friday, I think, out in the neighborhood. Then he came on Tuesday for court. We talked briefly on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, he came.
Thursday.
No, I think he only came 2 days, so it had to be Wednesday, and Thursday he came. It wasn't Tuesday, it was Wednesday, and Thursday he came. And then on Thursday, once we left, is when Mr. Melnick reached out to us and said, my client is pleading the fifth. And at that point is when we went the next morning and got the immunity motion. And then we spoke on Friday morning. I handed Mr. Copeland this agreement and let him know that he has immunity and that anything he says we can't use. And then Mr. Melnick came, and then we had court.
So you're pretty much saying you didn't ask for this?
I didn't.
But we gave it. He doesn't have to ask for it.
I know. I mean, he's just saying,
He doesn't have to ask for it, but to
So what does that mean? He's saying he never even asked for immunity, y'all. They saying he ain't even have to. We just gave it to him. They gave him the immunity because they wanted him to testify, y'all, which make me believe still even more that he is their primary witness. It's something that they want him to say on this trial. But it's also came out that they the ones who've been told they the one who taught him how to use the word recall. I don't recall. So it's all coming out in this secret ex parte meeting, y'all. And we listening live.
alleviate whatever his concerns were, we gave him immunity. He didn't have to ask for it.
so if he wouldn't have had this, I'm just saying this so he can understand it. I'm walking him through.
Uh-huh.
Would he still have had to testify, or would he have been able to plead the fifth? That's what he.
Say that again for the people in the back. You're walking them. You're walking that dog. Okay. Okay. Hey, but look, here's the thing. How long do y'all think that leash is, man? How long do y'all think that leash is? Let's talk about it.
He's saying.
If he did not have immunity?
Yes, that's what he's trying to say.
Yes, he could plead the fifth.
That's what I'm.
He's trying to say he didn't ask for this.
But he doesn't have to ask for it. Now that we have given it to him, because that's on us. So now that we have given it to him, it's an order. He can still choose. If this is the road he wants to take, then he'll just stay in custody until the trial is over. And when we say the trial is over, every last defendant has been tried. Not just these 6, the other ones too.
I done did longer time.
All right. Mr. Copeland, I'm telling you that you are literally immune from prosecution from anything else you may say. That's that. So the choice is always up to you. But we wanted to put on the record the state does not want you in custody. What the state would like you to do is purge yourself from...
What purge yourself mean?
Meaning that you are no longer in custody, and the way that you purge yourself is to testify. That is kind of how it happens, and that is what the state wants you to do. We don't want you in custody. I can't say that any other different way, but we don't want you in custody. The only thing that's holding you is you refusing to testify.
So do you have any questions, any other questions? Basically, if you invoke the fifth...
I don't trust. I don't know what's going on. I don't trust nobody. I trust her word. But I don't know what's going on, Your Honor.
This is your insurance. I don't know if you want to break that down to him.
Well, he doesn't want that.
But he's been given it. See, that's the challenge, Mr. Copeland, is that if they didn't give you the immunity, you could invoke your Fifth Amendment privilege. But what the state decided is they said your testimony is worth more to them at this point in time, and they really want to know what you have to say. So they have made from the state's perspective, they have made a decision to give you immunity so you no longer can invoke your Fifth Amendment privilege. You have to testify. So that's the difference in this particular scenario, is that they have taken away, well, you can still invoke your Fifth Amendment privilege. You still can do that, but the consequence of invoking it is you will just remain in custody. So if you testify, you get out of custody and you stay out of custody until you are done.
And then if I don't testify, I have to stay in until when?
Until the trial is over. Until all the defendants have been, I've got these 6 that we have right now, and then there's another 6.
No, there's another 12.
There's another 12 or thereabouts that are still outstanding in various forms or another.
Can I speak with her for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Judge Glanville, Assistant District Attorney Simone Hilton, Court Reporter Christina Weaver, and investigators Antonio Long and Rashid Hamilton left chambers at 10:17 a.m. and returned at 10:33 a.m.
My question is, I can ask you a question?
Yes.
So my question is, what I was just asking her was, if you ask me a question and you feel as in I was lying about it, you will lock me back up?
No. So you are saying you say, I didn't talk to Demekion. Well, no, I can't talk about that because the judge is in here. You are asking, for example, if you said before that the sky was blue, and I asked you on the stand, what color is the sky? And you say, I said it was red. I'm going to say, no, back before you said it was blue. Is that what you are trying to ask me?
So explain the independent evidence. If he says he did something and you know he's not telling the truth, what happens?
If he said he did something and he did not do that thing,
If you believe he did not, so if you believe that he's lying about that,
then no. If he admits to doing something on the stand and he did not do that thing, I'm going to say, is this the first time you are saying that?
and you have independent evidence to prove it wasn't him, then what?
Then nothing. What do you mean? Like,
So then he will be fine?
yes, but
So you're okay with him if he got on the stand and said things that weren't true?
no. I want him to tell the truth.
It's sounding like rehearsal. 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 I couldn't even imagine how Woody feel. He watching this live. Wow.
Truth. What have I always said to you? I want you to tell the truth. I don't know what's going to come out your mouth. I expect you to tell the truth. If you say something that is inconsistent with what you said before, then I'm going to ask about the inconsistencies. But I expect you to tell the truth. What you go on the stand and do? I don't know. I don't know what you are going to do. I want you to tell the truth. But I will deal with you, not you saying something different in the manner that I normally do.
If I'm saying something different, right? So when the police question me, they done question me every time they lock me up. I don't know how many times that was. I done told them whatever different story I could think of to try to finesse my way out of the situation. I don't recall what I done told them.
Okay, so you can say, I don't recall. That is how that works, I don't recall.
And he can say that to every single question?
I would hope that that is not the truth, because I think there are some things you do recall and some things you don't. But the things you don't recall, you don't recall. And then I will go through my process of what I do. You can talk to him about what impeachment is. That won't get you locked up. Impeachment will not get you locked up. You can talk to him about what impeachment is. If he says, I don't recall.
What will get me locked up?
What did I tell you?
I don't know.
What you did on Friday. I plead the fifth. If the court instructs you.
So the only thing that gets me locked up is pleading the fifth?
Yes.
The court instructs you. You need to answer the question. You say again, I plead the fifth. Again, that's what's going to get you locked up. But if you answer the question, that will not get you locked up.
So if you don't want me in jail, why you just don't let me go after the trial over with?
You are in jail because you are not answering the questions.
Because you have been given immunity.
Because you have been given immunity. You are only in jail because you got up here.
Well, what about this? I answer the questions. You take away immunity, I answer the questions, and I plead the fifth.
No.
To questions that I feel incriminate me.
But then that's...
I won't plead the fifth to things that don't incriminate me.
The state can still give you immunity. They can give immunity to whoever they want, okay? And they can make that choice. I don't even make that choice. So if they, like I said earlier, they want your testimony, they figure it's that the jury needs to hear what you have to say, good, bad, or indifferent. And what Miss Hilton is telling you is just tell the truth as you know it and let her worry about, even though you may have said different versions of whatever, that's for impeachment. That's not going to get you in trouble. What will get you in trouble is you just invoking your Fifth Amendment privilege because you have been given immunity. Or as Miss Love said this morning, remember, Miss Love said if you lie, if you overtly lie about something, like if you tell a bold-faced whopper, then they can indict you on that particular charge. That particular false statement.
That's what they're going to do.
That is what I was saying. You will be right back here.
But if you say something that you know you did not do, like you admit to something you know you did not do, whether you...
Like murder don't have, no statute of limitations, right?
But if you didn't do it, I can't charge you with something you didn't do because I don't have any other evidence but you saying it.
But y'all don't,
You can charge him with false statements and he will be back in jail. That is what I'm trying to say.
But if I know that you are lying about that, I do not intend to do that. If I know right now he's lying, I know he's lying, I'm not going to charge you because I don't know your reason for doing that. But I'm not going to charge you when I know you didn't do what you are trying to say you did now. And that can be a part of this. I know you didn't do it.
But it's up to the judge to do that.
No, it's up to the state to bring charges.
I don't have anything to do with that.
He has nothing to do with bringing charges. That's up to the state of Georgia.
Can I talk to my family and I will make my decision right after I hang up the phone?
He's saying he hasn't been able to speak to anybody.
His sister just called us.
Y'all done me wrong. Y'all just hold me in the jail. Don't let me get no PIN number. No nothing.
We have no knowledge. We did not know that you...
He hasn't been able to do anything, speak to anyone.
The jail system down, but y'all still putting people in.
That part, I don't know. I know we have been in communication.
Bumpus know what's going on. The judge know what's going on. Everybody at this point know what's going on. But look, let me go here real quick. Let's go to one of my shorts real quick, y'all. Now, maybe it's making sense to why we heard what he's saying the most craziest things during this trial, man. Now we know why he was so comfortable, you know what I'm saying, playing in the people's face, man. Add this to the stage real quick.
I texted her and told her that I was going to kill Thug when I get a chance. That's what you talking about?
Why did you text her that you were going to kill Thug when you get a chance?
Because I let a lot of people get in my ear.
You switched on me when you know you in business with her.
And what did they get in your ear about?
See it clearly if I had a state of fact. You step up with a nigga that ain't got your partner.
Were they telling you such that you thought in your mind you wanted to kill him?
That watch him because everybody's saying I killed Nut and they didn't want that on them, so they gonna, I don't know, put it on me. I don't know. Like, it was so many different people just telling me stuff. So,
Bro, they my crew go ham. Chase now.
With your sister. Your sister actually texted Ms. Lansequat to make sure you were okay. We told her we physically had laid eyes on you. I'll leave that up to the sheriffs. I don't know.
So what you think what she's saying?
I can tell you right now.
I'm talking about that locking me back up.
We would have to bring charges. There would be no incentive.
Y'all will.
We've already had this discussion.
Look what you did to me. You waited until Friday and did this. I done told you every day before Friday came that I was pleading the fifth.
No, you did not. As a matter of fact, our last...
Mr. Copeland, let's see if we can get beyond this, okay? Beyond what your concern is. You could have invoked the Fifth Amendment privilege. The state could have turned around and said, stop, had me, go ahead and file that motion and given you immunity. It was going to, they make that decision. They decided to make it on Friday. So even if you would have been more comfortable testifying and invoking your Fifth Amendment privilege, they could decide you as a witness. They want your testimony more than they do you invoking your Fifth Amendment privilege. So they give you immunity. They gave you immunity, so you've got to testify truthfully as to what your knowledge of the particular incident is. So they could have done that anyway. Even if they put you on the stand, they could have said, stop, and gone ahead and given you immunity. They could have done that.
So can I get it in some type of writing that if I was to testify, that if she feels as in I lied about anything, that they won't lock me back up?
Let me have that, Miss Bumpus.
Hands document to the court.
Mr. Copeland, on page 2 of the order pursuant to OCGA 245507. However, no testimony given by Kenneth Copeland as required under this order, or any information directly or indirectly derived from the testimony of Kenneth Copeland, given by Kenneth Copeland as required under this order, shall be used against said Kenneth Copeland in any proceeding or prosecution for a crime or offense concerning which he testifies under this order. Okay, so you testify about some aggravated assault or murder. They can't prosecute you on it because that is what it says on the order. Okay, the only thing that will get you in trouble is this next little paragraph. Kenneth.
Hey, so far, everything sounds sweet. The sweetest, man. They basically telling him, man, is this, wow. Hey, this is a, you feel me? What they call it, a ex parte. Don't let them talk over your heads, man. No one even knew these things was going on, man, until it happened. It done got leaked. And the way it's sounding, y'all, it's sounding like this thing happens all the time, man. Is this why the judge had to recuse himself, y'all? Is this why they had to throw the whole judge away, man? Throw the whole trial away, man. The longest trial in Georgia history, y'all. You hear me? And they gotta throw it away. But we about to finish listening to it.
Kenneth Copeland shall be subject to prosecution or to penalty or forfeiture for any perjury, false swearing, or contempt committed in testifying or failing to testify in accordance with this order. However, it is ordered that Kenneth Copeland shall not be required to produce evidence that can be used in any other court in the state, the United States, or any other state. So basically, if you commit perjury, false swearing, or contempt committed in testifying, that means if you just invoke your Fifth Amendment privilege or failing to testify, you say, I'm not going to testify. All right. So the only two real things you can kind of get in trouble for are perjury and false swearing, as long as you tell the truth. Now, as Miss Hilton and Miss Bumpus said earlier, you may have told or been asked about situations over and over again. They may have changed. What the state is asking you to do is tell the version that really is the truth. If they want to impeach you, they can do that. Or if the other side wants to impeach you, they can do that. You won't get in trouble for that.
You said I will?
You will not. You will not. Impeachment is not perjury or false swearing, okay?
But she said I can purge myself, though.
No. We're saying two different things. Sorry, perjury is if you get on the stand and you say just a bold-faced lie, just something that is just wrong. Say you say, I did something, and all the other times you have said, I have not done it. And really, while it's perjury, it's really just an inconsistent statement. Like if you get on the stand and say, I did X, but in 2015 you said, I never did X, that is what I'm going to impeach. I'm going to impeach you on everything you said in 2015, meaning I'm going to say, okay, today you said I did X, but in 2015...
Lieutenant Dean entered chambers.
We have a security issue. We need to stop for a minute. If we can stop for a second, please.
Judge Glanville and Lieutenant Dean exited chambers at 10:45 a.m. Judge Glanville returned to chambers at 10:47 a.m.
I don't know what was told to you on Friday. I have no reason to want you in prison. You have spent enough time in prison for YSL, period. So why would I want that for you? That doesn't make no...
Let me just say this real quick. Now we done finally figured out why the trials was starting so late. Ain't no telling how many secret ex partes done partooken. Let's be honest, y'all. 10 something a.m. the trial ain't even started. Them folk been there since about 9 o'clock. You got the juries in the building. They wondering what's going on. This man...
No sense. I said it to you before, and I will say it to you again in front of all these people. It makes no sense.
You just said I'm going to have to stay in jail until the last...
If you don't testify, get this part through your head. If you don't testify, that is the only thing that is holding you. That is literally the only thing holding you right now is the fact you keep saying, I'm not going to testify. Well, you haven't said it today. I'm not testifying. I plead the fifth. If you get up there and you... I want you to tell the truth. Like I said before, if you don't recall certain things, you can say you don't recall. That's fine. I want you to tell the truth. I don't expect you to...
Hold on, man. We got to look at Miss Love face, man. Now, I'm going to let it rock out. But this is Bumpus right over here. I thought she supposed to be standing somewhere over there, y'all. And then you got Woody slide in. Miss Love a little backwards. And I want to also address that Miss Love was not in the ex parte. I do apologize. It was Miss Hilton. It was the assistant. Y'all. I do apologize.
To remember every single detail from 2015. I just don't. No one here does. But what I do expect for you to do is answer questions so we can get through this. So you can go home, be with your baby for her birthday, see these dogs deliver their babies, go talk to your nephews, and do all these other things.
How you know about my dogs?
Because you told me.
Okay,
What's wrong?
I'm stressing at another level, like,
I mean, I'm saying,
I'm weak. Man, I'm not playing. I'm dead serious, man, like,
This is what our position is. We do not want him in custody. We want him to tell the truth. We want him to testify. That's what will get him out of jail. And, you have to make.
if he decides in 2 weeks he wants to testify, then what?
If he wants to stay in jail for 2 weeks, then that's. I don't know why you would want to stay in jail for 2 weeks. I have no idea.
He just feels like he's under a lot of pressure right this second.
even at the jail they are just... You can't give me house arrest?
No. You can go home by taking the stand and testifying. That's what you.
And come back tomorrow.
There's no. We keep on saying yet, but there is no crime. We keep on saying yet. I don't know who is telling you about a crime. There is no crime. You have done nothing wrong except for not.
So why am I in jail then?
Because you aren't testifying.
But that ain't nothing wrong. It's not a crime.
It's not a crime, but you're in civil contempt.
2 things. Because you invoked your privilege after you have been given immunity, that is why you are in custody, because you get out by testifying. So you testify, you get out. That's why I was going to bring you, why I brought you here early today, to just inquire about that. You can remain and hold your position of invoking the 5th or not testifying, but you go back to prison, you go back to jail because that's...
You can't sentence me?
There's no sentence.
There is no sentence. The contempt is compliance. They want your testimony. That is all they want, whatever that may be.
I don't know what it is, Your Honor.
So listen, you are in jail for failing to testify.
Failing to testify.
Not for nothing else. There is no crime. You ain't done nothing. I don't know if people are telling you that we are going to charge you with nothing. We are not charging you. The state charges you. There is nothing we're charging you with. You are only in custody because you have decided not to testify. That is it. Once you decide to testify...
Remember that word you were talking about, purge?
Uh-huh.
Okay. You can purge right now. Purge. Get yourself out of jail just by testifying.
I can purge and get out of jail?
Yes, just by testifying.
Not perjury.
Purge. Meaning you can get out of jail. You can get out of jail, out of custody, just by testifying.
And what about the other one, the other word, perjury?
That's different.
That's different.
That's a different word, okay?
That can get me back in jail?
Yes.
Perjury is...
It's not... What you are saying is not perjury. What you are saying is what we call a prior inconsistent statement. Your example that you gave me, what if I said I did something and I know you didn't do it and you said before you didn't do it? That's not perjury. That is a prior inconsistent statement.
You've got to make a decision. So if he starts testifying today, he's going to go home today?
He should, so long as he remains. But if you get up there and be like, if you get to testifying and then we get into it and you start saying, I plead the 5th, we're going to be back here again.
But if he says he don't recall to everything, he'll be okay?
I'm not advising that, but so long as he answers the questions, that's fine. So long as he...
I did these crimes. I'm telling you that.
Okay, I don't know what you are talking about, but...
Are you saying you want to get up there on the stand and say something?
Mr. Copeland did not respond to that question.
Did we find out if he could talk to his family? No?
I mean, if it's okay, we got the sister's number.
As my attorney, you gotta...
If y'all want to talk, let me go somewhere where I can't hear you. The judge is over there, so just speak low so he doesn't hear you.
Hold on.
Judge Glanville handed a document to attorney Kayla Bumpus and exited chambers with Assistant District Attorney Simone Hilton, Investigator Long, Investigator Hamilton.
Let's be honest, y'all. They talking in front of the judge about stuff they don't even be supposed to be talking about in front of the judge. The judge hearing it like, man, hold on, man. And just exited his own chambers. You hear me?
And court reporter Christina Weaver from 10:53 a.m. to 11:28 a.m.
Shout out to Ms.
Okay, all right. Mr. Copeland, have you had an opportunity to talk with Ms. Bumpus, your lawyer, and Ms. Hilton, the state's counsel? Have you got any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
Is it your desire to give testimony today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right then. Do you all have some clothes for him?
I don't know. Let me go take a look. What size are you?
I can't hear you.
What size are you?
Little.
We had a large jacket for him on Friday. Large.
You had a jacket for him?
Yes.
Oh, but he can't wear a large.
What is your waist size? 34?
32.
Chest. What are you, a 34? 34? Oh, 36 chest?
Probably 36.
Not in my chest. What you mean?
Size.
What size are you, small or medium?
Small or medium?
They are going to try to get you some clothes so you don't have to testify wearing that jail uniform, okay?
Y'all don't want to show the people how y'all did me?
Look,
If we can't find clothes, then you may have to until tomorrow.
I prefer to go in like this.
I understand what your preference is.
Nah, don't hide it.
Can you make him put on clothes?
No.
I want to go in there like this.
Fine with me.
all right, okay.
You ain't gonna try and lock me back up for this?
So long as you testify, we will get an order to get you released.
Today.
Whose copy is this?
You've got to make sure you come back now. I want to be real clear.
When have I ever ran?
You have not. That's the only thing, you have not.
Whose copy is this?
That was ours. Do you want a copy? You can take it, though.
Okay.
Do you still have yours or you threw it away?
I'm going to give him both of these things so he can have some information.
Okay.
The court reporter. Are we off the record now?
Are we done?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, we're good. See everybody downstairs in about 10 minutes.
The proceedings concluded at 11:31 a.m. Thank you for watching. This took a
All right. So that was a lot, y'all. I appreciate y'all for getting through it with me. So let's look at, let me see, make sure that's the right joint right here. I believe this is the story. Let's look at something real quick. So y'all remember he was talking about Tay in the with the detectives, right? I'll show y'all what happened to Tay real quick. We're gonna get on up out of here. It's kind of went over, but it's okay. It was necessary, and we will be back again. We will be back again. Share the live, hit that like button, y'all. Appreciate it. You know, lives like this, you know, do get overlooked. But if you hit that like button, you put me out there, you share me out there, that will be much obliged. Let's look at Tay, y'all. This is Woody partner, or so he say. So he say.
Man is dead. We are on top of breaking news this morning, a deadly shooting in southwest Atlanta overnight. Atlanta News First reporter Asia Wilson is live on Peyton Place, where police are still there at that scene. Asia, you've been gathering information now for a while. What are officers saying? We do know that one man is dead, and it is a very emotional scene out here. I just want to show you exactly where we are right now. We're at the corner of Peyton Place as well as Martin Luther King Drive as well. And this is at the corner of a Texaco gas station. So many people are out here. As you can see people hugging, very emotional, looking at the scene. Much of the focus has been at this apartment complex, like right across the street from this Texaco gas station. Right now, we know that the call came in around 3:01 this morning. All we know that the shooting took place from the street into an apartment complex. Now, right now, police say that they don't have a suspect at this time, but again, they do believe that the victim was apparently home when all of this happened alone.
Right now, we have very limited information. We know that the shooting took place from the street into the apartment. We do not have any suspects to identify at this point, and we are working with witnesses and canvassing the area for video.
Back out here live, you actually just saw the homicide commander going into one of the apartment complexes here. And also crime scene investigators, more crime scene investigators actually just arrived on scene. They've been here taking pictures. You can see them in the street now, kind of looking, I guess, for more evidence in the street here. And also at this hour, they're saying that they're still trying to determine if the suspect was in a car or on foot. All of that is still under investigation. They said all of this is in the very early stages, and they're also still trying to determine a motive. For now, we're live in Southwest Atlanta this morning. Tasia Wilson, Atlanta News First.
And nothing ever came of that situation, y'all. Nothing, still to this day, dry. But I'm gonna get up out of here. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to today's live on the YSL trial and Chief Judge Glanville being recused and stepping down off the case. Y'all leave y'all comments, honest comments in the comment section of the live. And if you enjoyed this one and you want to see more like it, or if you got ideas of any content you want me to cover or react to, my IG is It's Sweet TV. Go ahead and hit me up right there. Other than that, y'all stay blessed, not stressed. And I'll probably most likely be back at y'all again a little later. Diana James, big old salute to you. A big old salute. We out.